Hello, I'm Dr. Beth Godey.
And I'm Dr. Martha Leatherman. I'm a geriatric specialist in psychiatry.
And I'm a neuropsychologist, and I specialize in aging.
We're experts in dementia care, and we're here to provide you some information and answer some questions that we hear very commonly about dementia and other issues in aging.
Frequently, we get asked by family members about powers of attorney, and they will tell us, you can talk to me about Dad because I have power of attorney.
Or I have guardianship.
And there's so much confusion about what does guardianship mean, what does power of attorney mean, what does it mean to invoke or activate a power of attorney?
Or be somebody's agent.
That's right. And should I carry those papers around all the time? There's just a lot of confusion. So we thought we'd do just a very simple discussion about the basic issues of guardianship and power of attorney. So
yeah, and there are a lot of complexities to this that we'll build on, but for the very basic understanding, a power of attorney is something that a person establishes on their own free will.
Right.
So I would go to an attorney, I would make the documents, it would be my decision that I wanted somebody else to act in my behalf if I were unable to function normally. Now, that's if you're in the ICU, if you have a breathing tube, if you're in a coma, or if you become demented, which is where it starts to get tricky, and we'll talk about that later. But in general, that's power of attorney. And you can revoke that. You can say, I have changed my mind. I don't want you to be my power of attorney anymore, and name another one.
And it comes in really handy. We're told a lot about, you need to get your family papers and legal matters in order and get a power of attorney. Think of this, especially if you live alone, if you were in a car wreck, for instance, and you're in the hospital for a long time, can anybody pay your bills for you? Who's going to be able to do that? Who's going to be able to take your checkbook and write the checks and make sure that you still have your house paid and that your apartment rent is paid? It comes in very handy for things like that. Or if you are in a car wreck again, and you're in a coma, who is going to help make decisions for you since they can't ask you the questions? So it's a very handy tool for people to have.
Right. Now, guardianship, on the other hand, is something that is imposed, and it requires, in every state that I know of, I'm not an attorney, but it requires a judge or some kind of a judicial figure to determine that your rights as an adult can be taken away and given to somebody else. So your decision-making rights, your right to where to live, what physicians to see, what to do with your money, how to pay your bills, whether to drive, whether to vote, all of those things are taken away, and it's not something that you initiate. And so it can be a very contentious, difficult situation.
Exactly.
And very painful and very expensive.
Yes. And a guardian has to report to the court all the activities they've done for the person, every penny they've spent for whatever care or anything for that person that they're the guardian for. And so it gets really complicated and can be real difficult. A lot of family members feel like if they have some legal document like power of attorney,
or even just, Mom always told me she wanted me to help her.
Right, that then they can take over and make decisions for them.
And I've had people who only have a parent who said, I want you to help me when I'm older. Right. I've had them come into my office and say, I'm the guardian. And they're not. It's a legal judicial process. And so a physician or an attorney should always really ask to see those kinds of papers, to really look and see what it is that this decision maker has the authority to do.
And very often, professionals, especially physicians, will get a phone call or a visit from a family member saying, oh, here, just write a letter that says mom can't make decisions, and that way I'll be able to take care of things for her. Which may be a genuine intention, or it may be a way to take control wrongfully of that parent's finances or whatever.
And but sadly, those things have happened. So if your physician says no, they won't do that, don't be angry. Recognize that there are some people who really abuse that.
That's right. But the simplest way to think about this is take a look. If you have power of attorney paperwork, take a look at it. At what point are you able to take over making some decisions for your loved one? Does the doctor have to write a letter, or does it happen immediately? You need to educate yourself about what that form means.
Because you might have signed that 10 years ago.
Right.
And not really thought about it. If you need expert help, go see an attorney and get it interpreted so that you understand exactly what your rights and responsibilities are as about power of attorney.
So the difference being that the power of attorney, the person has made up their mind on their own.
It's a voluntary thing.
It's a voluntary thing, and the guardianship is imposed by a court of law.
For more answers to questions like these, our book, The Insider's Guide to Dementia Care, is available at Amazon.com.